See, China started its intent to modify and to become an industrialized nation in the year 1978, whereas India started its policies in the year 1991. China's effort to modernize was a strategic planning, whereas India's effort to modernize arose out of the crisis of the balance of payments when India had a very narrow balance of payment reserves held in the year 1991. The Chinese built the infrastructure, the first deep water ports, roads, airports, and others before calling the foreign direct investment into its fold, whereas India did not have any infrastructure built before opening the Indian economy for the FDI. See, any company will invest in a country if the infrastructure exists and if the government policies permit easy movement of goods from one place to another place, and sanctions from the government happens at a faster rate. Whereas in India, the license raj still existed, and any customs which should be cleared in India used to take 3 to 4 weeks compared to just 5 to 10 hours in China. So most of the foreign direct investors wanted to invest in China because of cheap labor, cheap land acquisition, no problem in land acquisition, and availability of excellent infrastructure. Even though India opened up its economy for the foreign investor, there was no infrastructure. There were very strict labor laws and very high tariffs. Thirdly, the China weaponized its currency and it actively managed its currency to ensure that foreign direct investment will get labor, land, and other resources at a very cheap rate. It means in China, any company which invested in China could export 100% of its goods outside. Whereas in India, there were a lot of government restrictions involved in exporting the 100% exports of the goods manufactured in India. Thirdly, the foreign direct investment was limited only to 51% stake in a company, whereas China gave the foreign companies to have 100% control over the company invested in China. And fourthly, China had a very vast diaspora in Singapore, Taiwan, Indonesia, like Hong Kong. About 40 to 50% of the foreign direct investment to China came from Taiwan, Singapore, and Hong Kong. Indian diaspora were basically involved in services and not in manufacturing. See, Chinese administration and Chinese government could do what Indian government could not do by imposing strict rules and regulations for handing over of the land to the companies, for ensuring adequate infrastructure and land acquisition. Whereas India is a democracy, hence land acquisition used to be a problem. There will be a lot of political opposition and opposition from various NGOs, which basically delayed land acquisition, and the government policy used to change frequently because of coalition compulsions and other things, because of which the foreign investors were hesitant and reluctant to invest in India. So India has got a long way to go with respect to attracting foreign direct investment and becoming an export surplus country like China.